I'm coming to see you yesterday.
This is how far where people tell us about their lives in the diaspora. Our guest today is a working professional, an enjoyment officer, and an all-round baby girl. A round of applause for my guest. So how far, madam?
Ade, I'm good. I'm alright. I'm here. So
Okay, as you said all those ones, that's nice. Now tell me how you're doing without saying fine, all right, perfect.
honestly, I'm running on vibes, man.
Please tell me more about these vibes.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm just taking each day as it goes, living in present, trying to honestly just because it just seems like I don't know. It just seems like the world is in a state, so I'm just trying to stay present so that I don't lose my mind. So that's it.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that one of your hacks is staying present. Good.
Yes, yes.
Now this is a very random question, and please give me the most, I don't know, genuine answer.
Okay.
So tell me, what's the most expensive adult thing you've purchased since you moved to a new country?
The most expensive adult thing that I've purchased. I think it'll be a car. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Most expensive.
Yeah, that's it.
Is it brand new?
As at the time I bought
It
it,
was
I
brand
think
new.
it was yes. No, actually, yes, it was. It was like it was a year, but it wasn't brand new. So it was like that year,
Like it
but
was
fairly. Yeah, yeah, it was.
otherwise like it was like
Yeah,
brand
yeah,
new.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. But I
yeah.
mean, it's the same year, so it was brand new in the year.
Makes sense, makes sense. I want you to tell me two things that you've been able to do since you moved to this country that you're like proud of.
Two things I've been able to do that I'm proud of. Um, honestly, I would say one is building communities. I like just bringing people together, communities together for something. And let's see, what else am I proud of? Honestly, that I'm not on the streets, man.
That's why you have
That
over your
I'm
head.
actually adulting, and I feel like I'm not too bad at it.
So
Yeah.
like what say you said communities. What can you tell me more about that?
Yeah. So self plug. My name is Ada, and I run a couple communities. But one is the Welcome Party, which is a community of like that brings newcomers together through different things, events like either social, sports, professional, whatever it is. And then part of it or a subset of that community has been the flag football. Honestly, felt like we need to do something that was also in the daytime. And then sports, bringing people together. So have a flag football community, have WhatsApp groups now. People are coming out to play. We're having events. So just kind of like growing that, starting it, building it, growing it. I would say has been fun to do. And yeah, so that's it.
I'm going to ask more about that one in a bit.
Okay.
But what's one, let's say, like a life hack that has saved you a lot?
A life hack
Since you
that
moved
has
here.
saved me a lot. Honestly, I think, like I said, one, I don't know if that is a lie, it's just more of a recent hack. The one about like just staying present. I will say, like, it just helps you, honestly, to tune out a lot of, should I just say, bad things happening in the world. Um, Life hack. Honestly, when I try my best, so it's not like I'm great at this, but I will say, like, I choose to be happy, man. Like, that's it. anything that is happening, I'm like, go be like, it is what it is, and we keep like. I think most people will tell you that one thing about me is how I would laugh in the face of someone literally told me that they not see someone that is it that suffers well, and it's not even like I was suffering. But it's just like, life goes on. I honestly try to stay happy no matter what it is, and this is not like tempting God to give me the one that I'm just saying who is working so far. But yeah, that's it.
Would you say, is there like particular circumstance that prompted, like, were you always
was that always
suffering well?
Honestly, you
Or
know
is there
what?
something that prompted it, like?
It's two things. I think it's a coping mechanism. I think my coping mechanism, I mean, some call it avoidance. I also think it depends on what you choose to consider it. Some call it avoidance. I choose that. You know what? It go be. So the minute I clocked it, I feel like it's not because I used to have migraines from overthinking once upon a time. Like I was that person that I would have like severe migraines because, and when I like they did say it was related to stress and just overthinking. And my mom would ask like, what are you stressing about? Like, what is stressing you? I could obsess over a thought and it becomes a problem and all of that. But I can't tell you when the click happened. But then after a while, I'm just like, well, the one I can do, I'll do, and the one I can't do, I can't do. But I think more just finding myself. I find that now I'm just doing it even without knowing that I'm doing it. Like I've lost job before, and my housemate then told me that she has not seen someone that has lost job that seems to be living like the same way. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, there's nothing much I can do. So it's just like, but by also avoiding it, if we all pretend it doesn't exist, I mean, it doesn't exist. And yeah, so that's it, because things will happen every day and things will come up every day. So I have to rough it too.
Yeah, I'll take that one from your book. Okay, so what's something that has made your life somewhat easier, that's become somewhat easier that you're able to do here, like unlike when you were back home?
Something that
moving here made easier for you.
That moving here made easier.
Yeah, if you try to do it back home, that been.
Let me think. Honestly, I don't know that I will say easier, but I know I had this conversation recently. I feel like coming here, I've become more like there's a lot of this place makes you independent whether you want to or not. Like you have to figure it out. And I feel like if I was still back home, not to say that I won't be independent, but I feel there'll be a lot of last I'll go to daddy's house but like somehow you have to figure it out. Like even if yes your parents can still help, like even if they can still like assist or they can help you, there's a thing of like before the money will reach here, before they do this, before you call them, and the time difference. So having to like figure it out, I think this place has made me very like on it, like efficient, doing things like I might have been a lot slower in just like the way I would take like my approach towards things, but now it's almost like nobody will save you, like figure it out. So I will say that's like the biggest thing that so I won't say like it's easier, it's just like more something I've had to do. Or but in terms of this isn't easier per se, but I will say that Canada is a very leveling ground for a lot of people. So something that's easier is like you don't need to know people to get certain things done here. Like if you really follow the process, do the right, like you can still network. Networking is always advisable. But like if you really just do the work, like hustle, most likely than not, it would work out. Like something will click or something will happen. So I'll say just being able to like know that if I really I'm consistent, if I do the work, like it will pay, like there's a reward as opposed to all the other forces that could potentially be working against you. So yeah, I
so essentially what you're saying is that there's the structure here, the structure, like the process.
Yeah, the structure enables it enables people to actually move. I said this recently that I don't think there's I think I'll call it social migration, or like back home, there's a thing of, I mean, I say back home, obviously Nigeria, Africa, whatever I want to go, but like back home, there's a thing where like almost it's hard to migrate from like whatever social class you are to like, except you are marrying into
marrying up.
It's very difficult to like make that move. But here, like, you could get a job, you do this one, you get promoted, you say, okay, this job, if I go to another company, I can get 30% bump. If you are lucky enough, you land 2 job offers at the same time. I don't know if it's legal or not, but you shall keep the 2 jobs. You've already reached 200 and something K. You're able to afford, and then there's a credit system. You don't have to pay it out of pocket. So like it enables you. I'm not saying it enables you to be a millionaire or wealth, but yeah, at least helps you live somewhat of a socially like some level of you can live a comfortability. Yes, I will say. So yeah, structure. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so would you say it would have been harder back home to move?
Like I don't have problem. I'm just saying that if we look at the general problem,
it's a general issue for the masses.
See, if I go back home, right, I'm okay. Like me, I'm fine. But it's a thing of like I'm able to acknowledge and recognize that that's not the reality for most. Like the average individual back home cannot say that. However, like here, the average individual is able to get 3 square meal, let's be honest, like is able to get a job, even if it's because there's a minimum wage, and that minimum wage has taken into account like how much you actually have to eat and spend on, so all those things are considered. So that's kind of what I mean by it's the structure here makes things easier. You get like any rewards. So yeah,
that's good. So you mentioned community earlier, and I want you to tell me, or tell us rather, something that you did or someone that you met, basically something that's had like the biggest impact on your life here since you moved here. That you know that if you did not do this thing or you did not meet,
like if I didn't meet somebody,
I'm not saying that everybody has to meet, so it could be something that you did by yourself, that if you didn't do that in that time, or your life will not be,
let me think,
where it's at now.
Am I talking about in this country particularly?
Yeah,
right?
like something you did once you got here, or maybe a few years into being here, like if you did not, something that changed the trajectory, basically.
Fair, that changed the trajectory. You know what? I think something that changed the okay, so if you went to university, in fact, if you went to any university or school or college in the Kitchener-Waterloo region, as at the time I went to school, without saying when it was, but let's just say a couple years ago, most of us passed through. There's this place, almost everybody worked there, called Avato or Majorel, depending on what the name is now. Some of us, I promise you that it was just, whether or not you wanted to be there, it was the easiest job to get there. You make a call. No, but I remember I was in school. Most of us, we didn't need the job, but it was just like, you just call, they interview you, answer anything you like, they've given you a job, and you're making money. And like, I remember doing that too. It was me, a couple of us did it. So we're all, our cohorts at the same time. There were at least 6, 7 of us. And like, it was a customer service job. It was like a call center. It was a customer service job. But I will say that when I started working, there's this lady that I met that was my supervisor at the point. She's, honestly, God bless her, because I feel like even my PR, like everything that I applied for, she was very instrumental in terms of like, I didn't have, that like, 1 year experience or work experience, like a qualified, whatever. I remember because I wanted to do federal skilled worker. I didn't want to do like, wait for CEC. And I remember that one of the experiences, she literally put me in a position where I could be like a quality control like person, so that it would count towards my federal skilled work thing. Like, and it wasn't like this one wasn't black, she wasn't African, she was El Salvadorian, Nigerian, I say Nigerian, El Salvadorian Canadian that just happened to like me. And then like, she was very, I think that basically, number one, made my process shorter. Like, I was one of the first, like, not first people, just first people in that cohort again that applied, because like I already got like the letters I needed. And then because I was in that customer like service space, I never had any intention, because now I work in customer success. I had no idea what it was. I didn't know that it existed, none of that. But I remember by working there, okay, customer service, and then I think I started getting calls from like on LinkedIn or something for customer success. I was like, okay, let me even look into it. And that was it. And I applied to my first customer success job. So I will say by working there, one, I got my PR earlier. And then two, by working there, I decided I wanted to enter customer success and not custom. Like, I'm sure it would have been very different. So yes, that changed, and I've been in customer success since then, and I haven't moved. So I think yes, definitely.
That's a very, very, very good story. What were you going to do before?
I don't know. Quite frankly, I'd like to know that.
Like when you were applying
let me
for
tell
jobs,
you
you
that
were applying for customer success.
I did not apply. I did not hear what I'm saying.
You don't apply for any job at all.
No, this is how it happened, right?
Okay.
I'd like to know that when they sent me here to school, they had already bought my return ticket for after graduation.
Fair.
So like, there was no plan of me working after school. I didn't even think I was supposed to go back after. But like when I did like this customer service thing we're doing, I was still in like, it was like final year, like final semester, final couple of weeks when I got this job. So it wasn't anything that, it was literally more ways to collect money. It wasn't even like anything. I wasn't thinking it through. But like once I started doing it, I was like, oh, this is a way to get my PR. Maybe I should just stay. And this lady is taking it like I've explained my thing to her. She understands where I'm going, so let me just stay here. Then from there, I'm like, customer service, obviously, I know this is not what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
But then at that point, what I was now seeing on LinkedIn and stuff, just by virtue of also updating my stuff, was stuff that were like customer success relating or client facing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, let me even see what this is about. And then I applied to the first job. And when I saw the salary that they wanted to pay me for customer success, I'm like, I'm here. And then I called my father that said, you're coming back once you're done school. Like, they've given me a job. I said, okay, now I guess you stay there. And that really was it. Like, I don't know what my plan, like in terms of, I was going to go and run business back home.
Oh, okay.
That would have been the alternate. And I'm going back to run business, but here it is. I'm not running business. Well, technically.
I'm actually enjoying your stories.
Well, thank you so much.
So people talk about research, and before coming here, they say, "Oh, do your research, and make sure you check this, check that, look at this website, look at that website, stuff like that." What exactly are people supposed to be researching before coming here?
What? Like, I think first of all,
because now you came here to school,
and
boats.
Yeah.
You've done school and boats. And before you came to school, you had like, okay, this is how I'm going to live my life here for the 1 year or whatever that I'm going to be here. So when you came here, you obviously had a different experience.
Yeah.
Maybe the same experience that you expected. So tell me, what do you think people should search for or look for before?
So first things first, right? It depends on what you're coming here for. So what do you want to do? I think is the first question. Like, wherever you're coming from, is I want to travel. I want to move to Canada. Or why? Right? Are you trying to move for school, like to just get an education? Are you trying to move because after education you actually want to stay back and work? Are you trying to stay back? Like, once you know that, because if you're just coming to school, especially with now where like the policies that they're making is a bit more like, most of the policies are a bit more stringent, or like the number of students they're allowing, or even if you schooled here to apply for PR, certain areas you have to have studied in, or at least you get like have a higher chances in certain parts, or based on the job you've done. So it's a thing of, if you're trying to stay after, then be thinking about, okay, if I'm trying to come here, but I want to school, but don't think about just like, I'm trying to leave and just go to school. You actually have to think about, what program can I study, like, so that I can get this prayer? What programs are they, or like, what areas are they giving? Based on that, it kind of would inform your research. So that's number one. Number two is also like, where are you trying to go to? Like, because Ontario is very different from Vancouver, or British Columbia is very different from Quebec. Like, what area? And some areas might be better for you depending on what you're trying to do. Again, if you're like, oh, you're not trying to school, you want PR, some provinces might make more sense in terms of, oh, they don't have as many people applying.
Yeah.
Or just, again, just check what the policies are saying too. So that's what I would say. It's just like trying to first of all figure out your chances in the country at what you are trying to achieve. Like,
Yeah.
so what is your goal and how do you get to it? And then just work backwards. I'm a firm believer of like, what is the end goal, and then work backwards. So
Yeah.
I want to do this and I want to have a passport in 5 years from, okay, what are all the necessary steps? And then work back, and it wouldn't be that difficult to like map it back.
Yeah.
Because everybody's journey or kind of what they have to do is different. So yeah, that's how I'll go about it.
So when I figured out I want to do this and that, where can I now check
What
resources can I
resources?
use to check?
So honestly, number one, the most accurate, up to date information bank is IRCC or the CIC website, depending on how you get to it. But like, they're constantly updating like policies. They're constantly updating like information about what to do. If you're actually let me plug this in. If you're looking for information around like schools and studies and policies, I know Apply Board. If you go on there, they actually have a bank of just questions around, because they've been making policy updates, like I said. So they have like a bank of different questions. So you can just check on their page. Like they have, I think there's even a link to all their questions, and you can see what's being asked.
Yeah.
Obviously ChatGPT and any other GPT out there, are you Grok, are you ChatGPT, are you Cloud, are you Gemini? Find your way and look for the one that they've trained in the ways of the one you want. But yeah, I will say that's also because that collates and like aggregates all the information for you as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, IRCC for sure, you can really never go wrong, because that's where you should be checking. And then yeah, just and follow people, like follow the right what's it called, the right influencers and people that are talking about this thing. They seem to know, all of us. But yeah.
So you're back to your community and back to like what you were talking about earlier. Why did you start that?
So
because as someone that wanted to come here and both, like,
honestly, it's two things, right? Number one, I think anybody that knows me knows that I'm always looking for business. for an opportunity somewhere. As to whether it will materialize, that's a very different conversation. But will I see the opportunity?
Yes.
Definitely. I'll even tell you how we can achieve it. Would we achieve it?
Maybe
a different
not.
Conversation. So first things first. So my program, my master's was in business, entrepreneurship, and technology. So one of the major things that we had to do was like really think through like problems and like systems and processes. So that was the first part. So I've always been very entrepreneurial in just the way I think, in the way I approach things. Like I said, I'm always finding like one thing I can do is ideate. I will ideate for you. Again, would we get it done? That's a different conversation. So that's something I've always known like I can do. So if it comes to, would I have been doing something on the side? Most definitely, like in some capacity. Now, another thing I do great is community, like bringing people together. Like I like to have a good time, and sometimes my idea of a good time is like, I'm not lie, I like to have a good time, but most times I don't like to have a good time alone. Like I can be on my own in my house and like I choose to have a great time. But when I want to do other things, I'm just like, okay, you know what, today I'm bored though, or this week is looking bored. You guys, I'm having a game night at home. So I used to host a lot of like game nights, and like we're doing cottage trip here and we're doing this and we're doing that. That was like, so how did I now get to like community? So I started the welcome party, which was like the first one, as a way to help newcomers. So for me, it's like the most thing I can relate to is where I'm at. And at that point, I had just finished like school. I had gone through the process of like my PR, trying to figure things out. My work permit at this point, never my PR.
Yeah.
So like I was at that space in that space where I was navigating a lot of things as a newcomer, as someone trying to integrate, someone away from home, that it just felt like number one, it's not only me that is experiencing it. There had to be other people experiencing it.
Yeah.
But also, like, how do I help? Like, how do I turn this? Number one, like I said, I'm a firm believer of, even if you want to do a social business, you should be able to sustain it. No matter what business, like no matter what it is, even if it's an NGO, there has to be a way to sustain it. So that's where your profit, whatever income, revenue. So I always have to put, like, there had to be a structure to it, like, to it. Now, the first person I ever went to meet with this, like, her name is Maranatha, and she's also the brains, or one of the brains behind Auskarr B.Studios. So basically, she and I, we went to school in the same region, like in Kitchener Waterloo,
Yeah.
and then we're in the same church at that time. So it was a thing where she was like, it was a natural conversation. I had gone to meet her. I'm like, look, I have this idea of like helping newcomers, but more students again, because that's
That's
what
where
I
you're
know.
at. Yeah.
So it's like, let's help students coming into Canada. We'll help them from like even trying to find a place and all that. And I told her I can ideate, but I'm not a great implementer. That's kind of where I need you to like help me. Like we had that conversation. It was great. We started thinking about how to go about doing things. The challenge, however, is that most students are arriving in Toronto Pearson. The two of us that are having this conversation, we ain't got a car, you know. We don't even have a way to get to go and pick people. So it was a thing of like the idea was solid, or like
Mm-hmm.
what we were trying to do was solid, but the logistics of it was just not going to pan out.
Yeah.
So that kind of was there, but we didn't. So instead what we started doing was just like game nights here, events here. Like it now became, so from there the natural progression was like, yes, we want to do all these things, like practically help people, but since we can't do that, what can we do now? And it was like, one, doing virtual stuff, so like virtual game I keep calling game night because that's what we
Yeah.
really started with, but then also like info sessions, and then when people came, being able to just like guide them through something, they would respond, we'll reach out to them. So it was very informal, but like that's how the community started. And then from there it became a thing where we were able, I had moved at this point, I had a car, so like it was like, okay, let's put some fire back to this. So we got to the point where we're helping people. Now we're picking people from the airport. We were able to like get them this welcome package where you like are able to just something to start with.
Yeah.
And then from there it became like, we'll help you find housing as well, and then keep in touch with you. So it was now a thing that started growing. And then again it became, from there we started doing other things, like we would have events either career wise or professional wise, or not professional or social. And then from there we did, like I said, the flag football part, where it's like, oh, people want to, let's do this thing where it's like sports, but then there's also like a social aspect to it. So we started doing it where on Saturdays, I don't even know how to play flag football. Most of us did not know what we're doing, but we're like, it's police and thief. Let's
Okay.
just do this. And then we're like, oh, it's not just police and thief. This is actually how you play. And then we got the vibe of it, but that was it. And like now we're like over 100 in the WhatsApp community about talking about flag football that we had no idea what we were doing initially. And now we're doing like this. We had the third like year of doing an actual flag football tournament where like four teams are playing. You're seeing over 200 people coming in attendance, just
Wow.
like in total there, just from what, oh, let's go and play. So I think that's kind of how the community grew. Number one, like I said, I like events, I like bringing people together, I like business as well. So it just was a natural progression of things. So whew,
Bravo.
that's it, man. Yeah.
Bravo. I guys I think you're able to find something to do from like something that you sort of enjoyed doing,
Yeah, definitely.
which is like one of the easiest way to start business.
Pretty much, I can't even lie. Still working on a lot, but yes, it's working.
So before we go into the light-hearted stuff, because we'll be giving you a lot of serious questions, but you're like you're a trooper. You've been doing everything.
I'm here now. That's why we're here. I'm here to answer.
So what's these places, these Auskarr B studios, we like Nollywood and we like movies
Okay.
and stuff like that. So can you tell me one Nollywood movie that you liked?
This one's gonna be tough. I can it be a show?
Oh, John.
Lovely. So you know what? I just watched the most recent one, and I actually would say that's like probably the best one I've seen is To Kill a Monkey. Maybe it's because it's the most recent one, but I really enjoyed it because, and this is coming from someone who doesn't really watch like You know what? That doesn't really matter. But yes, to kill a monkey is what to do. And before that, it would have been the Maranatha Adetiba. Oh no, sorry, Kemi
Ah,
Adetiba.
is this game okay?
What's the other King of Boys? I really like King of Boys too. But that's it.
You want me to arrest us? God,
I
I beg.
corrected it now, you know. But who knows? Speaking into existence,
Okay,
please.
put it out there. All right. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
having
talking
me.
to us. To see more of this, good vibes that we have here, please subscribe to our channel.
Let me do it for you. Hi
Oh,
guys. So
fantastic. Take
let me
over.
just let you know that you have to, not really like if you want to, but you have to like, share, subscribe, comment. I don't know, tell your daddies, tell your mummies, tell their daddies to tell their friends, tell your moms, tell their friends, tell your aunties, uncles, tell your uncles, tell their cousins, their little. No, I think that's what it is. All right, guys. Auskarr B.Studios signing out. Bye.
This is how far.